Hey guys, quick video to show you these couple fixed blades that I got finished up. They are shipping out today. I think they sold a couple days ago. They are what I used to call my small EDC version 2, just because I never took the time to think of a name. So I decided to actually put some thought into a name for these so I could be a little more consistent with them. And what I came up with was the Bevor, spelled B-E-V-O-R. If you look it up, it's like a piece of medieval armor that covers the neck portion, and I just thought the word was easy enough to say, had a bit of a ring to it, and I've always had some sort of knight's helmet logo for my business. I've always kind of been mildly interested in medieval times and that kind of stuff, so that's what I decided to go with. So going forward, if you go to my website under the knives page, you'll see the name there, and under my web listings and things, that'll be the description of the blade. So anyway, here's the first one. Black canvas micarta, black kydex sheath, stainless screws, 1/4" lanyard tube, and the sheath's still nice and snug. You can see the blade there. Again, it'll be very smudgy because this is like a satin but then buffed kind of finish, so it has some reflection to it, but you can still obviously see the grind line. So compound chisel grind. It's about 6.5, just under 6.5 inches overall, and the blade's about 3, the handle's the other 3.5. So you can see the canvas micarta. I don't use liners very often. I just feel like it's another part, and other than having some color pop, there's really no use or point to having them. So it's just the micarta, steel micarta. Stainless connectors go through the handle, and I have 2 just standard screws on each side, all hand beveled. It kind of looks, it might almost look blocky in the video, but if you look down the actual spine, you can see it's got some nice contour to it. And my philosophy is kind of, when you hold the knife, it lays in the flat part of your fingers. So to have this contour in here, a little chunk of kydex there, have this contour here come to a point, it's just going to be uncomfortable. So the way, like my finger, that part of the flat is what lays there. So if that is mostly flat, it feels good. So and a good section of jimping up top. It's a hollow main bevel with a flat ground tip. You can see my maker's mark there, and it might be hard to see. You can kind of see the light catching it there. I've chamfered off the jimping, the little peaks there, so it's a little more comfortable. Otherwise, those would be very sharp. And I've also chamfered off there, and then the little part where your index finger, it's not going to let me focus on it, but I've chamfered off this little section here of the choil, so there's not a sharp edge there for your finger. So that's the first one. Nice little kydex sheath, drilled for a small tech lock. You can kind of adjust the retention by moving these screws. That's going to be my standard screw setup for all my sheaths going forward. And the second one, which guys on Instagram seem to like quite a bit, and one of my new favorites as well, is just the natural micarta. It's kind of a sandy earth brown color. Same deal with the sheath, black kydex 0.08. It's my favorite thickness. You can get 0.063, 0.08, and I think even close to an 1/8 inch thick, which is almost a little too thick for knife sheath. So this is what I settle on. Same, it'll be different because they're all hand ground, but you can see the same general idea with the grind, hollow ground main bevel with a flat ground tip, chisel grind. I've done away with the sharpening choil, at least for now, just because I kind of like the look better of that consistent line. Same thing with the jimping, and again the scales are all hand contoured, and then I blast them. They're taken to about 120 grit, and then I blast them in my cabinet so it leaves them with a nice bit of texture to them. So anyway guys, that's the couple blades I wanted to show you. I have a few more heat treated blanks that I hope to grind soon. Just a matter of finding the time to do that. And I guess one more thing I could show you, definitely something a little different for me. Not really my style typically, but did up a couple little handmade zirconium pry bars. When I first started, if you go back my YouTube videos from a while ago, like a couple years ago, one of the first things I ever did out of titanium was the tie pry, and it was just a little basic pry bar with a little, I call it like a forward traction hole, so when you're using it, it's not slippery. Your meat of your fingers actually fall into something. It's basically just a little flathead screwdriver. I tumble it for a while so these aren't sharp, but they're sharp enough to open a package, and then it has a lanyard or little lanyard holder, something you can use to attach to your keys. I ship them with a little black Night Eyes S-beaner, but what I did was take some of these little schmuckatelli beads, modify them so they'll lay flat, and then epoxy them on there. And what you can't see is that on the underneath the skull part and into the pry bar, I've drilled and ground a little bit, so there's some texture there as well, so the epoxy will hold. So these 2 zirconium ones sold, and then I'm working on 3 more in titanium today with some different beads on them, like an antique gold, schmuckatelli, and a couple Spartan ones. But anyway, guys, out of time. Thanks for watching.